Hello friends, welcome back to Rouse Rising. My name is Katie and I'm a mom to 5 kids as well as a full-time holistic homemaker and YouTube vlogger. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I would love if you hit the subscribe button and stick around because my next video, we're making a pumpkin cheesecake from scratch and it's my first time ever, so it's quite the experience and you don't want to miss out on that. Very tasty though. It ended up delicious, and we served it for my daughter's birthday. It was her request, and what a perfect request that was. She made that request without ever trying cheesecake before in her life. She just thought, oh, I want a pumpkin cheesecake for my birthday. Sounds amazing, and she loved it. Actually, another child asked if he could have the same thing for his birthday, so I think cheesecake in some form might be our new birthday treat. In today's video, we're going to do a little bit of restocking. I have a grocery haul, an Azure Standard haul. As well, we're going to make a really tasty lentil stew that's even better the second day. Aren't all stews better the second day? In my last few postpartums, I had friends that brought me stews or they made me a stew. I remember when my third was born, my friend Danny, who was the birth assistant, and now longtime friend of mine, she made a delicious stew with a bunch of food that she found in my house. And I ate that stew for days and days, probably for a week straight. I ate that stew for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, unless Aaron brought something else to me. But I loved that stew. It was so nourishing. She used herbs de Provence in it, and I believe venison, a bag of mixed vegetables, a bag of broccoli, and a whole bunch of salt, and I'm not sure what else she put in it, but it was amazing. It hit the spot, and every day it just got better and better. And then when Annika was born, my fourth baby, I had a friend bring me a rabbit stew, and I think everybody else in the family ate it the first day, and then I ate it for the whole rest of the week. And then when my last baby was born, my friend Jennifer, she brought me a stew, and it was delicious. I want to say it might have been lamb stew. It was tasty, tasty. And it was the biggest blessing to me to have a large pot of soup or stew in my postpartum, made with love to nourish me while I snuggled and nursed my baby. And if my family needed a meal, it was easy for them to reheat and eat. But usually in my postpartum, I spend a lot of time in the bedroom, in bed with my baby the first week. And Aaron takes care of the kids and all of the other things. So I'm not really sure what the kids are eating or what's going on out there. Thank goodness everybody survives in my absence, but I really stick to the postpartum, staying in bed for a week and then staying around the bed for another week and then staying around the house for so many weeks and not going out and not stressing out myself or my baby or my body in the postpartum, but just resting and nourishing and bonding with my baby and my family during that time. We just like to stay home and avoid all the germs, just be together during that time. And so I guess, why am I talking about this? I'm just sharing this part because making that stew that we're going to be making later in this video just reminded me of all of that, all of my postpartums and all the delicious stews that I had. Oh man. And then it being the first stew of the season, it just makes me all warm and fuzzy inside, knowing that the seasons are changing and winter is coming. We're about to be piled up to the rafters with snow. We are piled to the rafters with wood right now for our wood stoves. That's one thing I've been working on lately as well. And homeschooling these kids. On this day, it is a Monday, and Mondays are quite busy for us, at least this Monday was. We have all of the online classes for our 3 oldest kids on Mondays, and they spend most of the morning doing that. That's why it is so quiet in here right now. As well, Aaron has taken the 2 youngest kids out of the house for a few hours, and he's gonna actually go do a grocery shop with the 2 youngest kids and just get the last minute items that we need for one of our children's birthdays. And then they'll be home later on. It's very quiet and I'm able to focus and get a lot of things done on this day. When you are a stay-at-home homeschool mom, the homemaking never ends. There is always tasks that need to be tended to. There's always cleaning, there's always cooking, there's always child management tasks, keeping them on task with all the things that they need to do in a given day, especially with their homeschool. We try to get homeschooling done in the morning so that we can enjoy the rest of the day. And this time of year, the mornings are freezing cold. It's been in the 20s at night, and then it warms up to the 60s during the daytime. That is high desert life. And we tried to get everything done in the warmth of the house in the morning so that we can spend the afternoons outside playing and doing things out there. Lately, we've been stacking wood because we had 3 cords of chopped wood delivered to our home for our wood stove for this winter. We already had a little bit of wood stocked up from last winter, and then some trees fell in our yard, and we were able to use the wood from those trees as well to add to our supply. But we did go ahead and get 3 cords, and let me know in the comments below, how many cords of wood does your family go through in a typical winter? I believe this house is around 15 to 1700 square feet living space, so let me know if you can compare. After getting the kitchen all cleaned up from the breakfast and the busy morning, now I am making a leaven to make sourdough. We have a special request for pizza rolls, so I'm going to make sourdough pizza rolls, and that's what we're prepping for now. That's going to be in an upcoming video. Hi friends, I have a little bit of an Azure Standard haul to share with you. I just got a few things because I don't always need a lot of things from Azure Standard. Once you bulk buy, you're pretty set for a long time, and we have most of our bulk foods stocked up, and we just slowly work through them. But I did need to restock on a few things, so let me share with you what I got. We love their Azure Standard, Azure Market honey, and you can buy it in a big gallon thing. And if you drink tea like my family drinks tea, then you're gonna want to buy your honey by the 12-pound gallon or whatever this is. This is raw berry wildflower honey, and it is delicious. This is the one that I tend to go back and get. I've tried a few of their types of honey, but this one is my favorite. Right here, we make a lot of corn masa cake instead of cornbread. We're making corn masa cake, and it is yummy. We also use this to make tortillas, or we have been making corn masa cake with blackberries, and it is so good. Actually, I'm gonna make some today, so that's the next thing on my list to do. And then down here, we've got some Celtic sea salt. This is yummy salt. You all know I like my Redmond's real salt, but I do have Celtic sea salt, and we use this for some things. I use it when I season the water for my pasta. I use it in drinks and things like that, but I also use my Redmond's real salt. But we were running low on this, so I decided to restock, and they do have that in Azure Standard as well. And I showed you guys my big old box of apples. So good. You can sign up for Azure Standard using my link down below in the video's description. At Azure Standard, you can get all kinds of groceries. You can get bulk foods, bulk grains. You can get feed for your animals if you want organic chicken feed. If you're picky about that kind of stuff, you can get that at Azure Standard, delivered to your drop location by the pallet, if that's what you want. It's a great place to save, to buy bulk, and to save money on quality, organic, non-GMO products, if that's something you are into. So you can buy a 4-pound bag of the gluten-free corn masa, or you can buy a much, much bigger bag. Also, I got a 5-gallon bucket of flour that you guys saw me just dump and fill. We go through one 25-pound bag of flour per month on average because we bake all of our bread from scratch. So I just got back into sourdough bread baking. Stay tuned because I'm sharing all of that with you guys as well. Let's make a lentil stew. You can use regular lentils. Today I'm using these red lentils I get from Azure Standard. We're also going to need some chicken broth, some salt, and some pepper. We've got a sweet potato, carrots, onion, garlic, 2 regular potatoes, some celery, some spare potatoes that I need to use up, these diced tomatoes, and I haven't decided which seasoning to use yet. And I'm all out of fresh homemade chicken broth. So we're gonna use the box stuff in a pinch, but we are gonna make some chicken broth coming up soon because we've been out since last week. and I need to make some more with that Costco chicken carcass that I have in my freezer. First thing we're going to do is dice up our onions, and I wish I had some green onions for this as well. I like to throw green onions. I like to cut them. I keep the white part on, and then I cut them about halfway up the stalk, maybe about 4 inches long. And I like to throw those into our soups and stews because the kids really like the big onions like that. I don't have any for this, but if I did, I would definitely add those as well later in the cooking process. But we're just doing one whole yellow onion. As many carrots as I had left in the fridge. We are now out of carrots. I need to get some more. Well, we've got a few baby carrots, but I need to get some more carrots next time I go grocery shopping. I also need to get more celery, and those are going to saute up nicely in this Instant Pot. This is an 8-quart Instant Pot. We're also going to be adding some sweet potatoes to this. Peel your sweet potatoes. Be sure to peel your potatoes. I did not peel the smaller potatoes, and I wish I had, just because everything else was peeled nicely, and then those had the skin on them, and they weren't as appetizing or tasty as the peeled potatoes. So that's up to you though, whether you peel your potatoes or not, and we prefer them peeled for soups and stews in this house. I rinsed and drained my lentils, and now we are adding them to the pot. You always want to check and make sure there's no rocks in there. There's nothing worse than biting into a rock when you're chewing your stew. I've never done that, but I can only imagine breaking a tooth off on something so delicious would just be a miserable experience. Next, after everything is sauteed nicely, we're going to add our chicken broth. And then you have a couple of options for seasoning your lentil stew. If you pull up lentil stew on the internet, if you Google it, let's say, there's going to be a variety of recipes. So what I do anytime I make something new, I'll pull up some recipes on Google or on Pinterest or wherever, and I will see what ingredients they have in them. And everybody has their own little adaptation to a recipe. And for the lentil stew, I found a couple of different ones for seasonings. One used basil and parsley, salt and pepper. Another one used cumin and a little bit of cinnamon, salt and pepper, onion powder. So I am going with the cumin, salt, pepper, onion powder, cinnamon, and you do a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of onion powder, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of your cinnamon. And I chose the spices over the herbs because I just thought it suited this dish much better, and it really did. It really brought out the flavor of everything. It all marries together just lovely, and with all the ingredients added to the pot, you're going to bring this up to a simmer and simmer for at least 30 minutes. Longer is better. It will thicken up overnight and be much better tomorrow. And so if you're not a cumin fan, you can go with the parsley and the basil, no problem, in lentil stew. There's a variety, so just find a recipe online that you like and go with that. I've got a bit of a pre-birthday grocery haul here for you. We've got a birthday tomorrow. So I sent my husband to the grocery store to get the items that we needed for the birthday and a few other items just to tie us over. But let me just share with you what we got. We got 4 dozen eggs, 4 half gallons of milk, 2 things of mozzarella because we've got pepperonis right here also. And we've got some sourdough going. We're going to make some sourdough pizza rolls. Springform pan, because I've never made cheesecake before, and we are making pumpkin cheesecake. That's why we have cream cheese for pumpkin cheesecake with the eggs. And the graham crackers, because I'm not going to make graham crackers from scratch. Nope, I'm not going to do it. And then she requested toasted oats cereal. This is the exact kind that she wanted. So we've got toasted oats cereal for the birthday girl. We let our kids pick what they want for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're doing chicken salad, or not chicken salad. We're doing like fried chicken, Caesar salad wraps. So that'll be yummy. And then for dinner, we're having the pizza rolls. So breakfast cereal, lunch chicken, Caesar salad wraps, and dinner pizza rolls and salad. The salad's already in the fridge. Aaron likes to put pure lemon juice in his water, so we get a thing of that. And then also we're working on parasite cleanse type things, preventative maintenance, all that. And we've been drinking clove tea, just clove water, basically. Right back here, we've got fruit punch and Canada Dry ginger ale. Both of those are to make a fruit punch birthday special drink with some maraschino cherries in it. So we'll put those with the fruit punch and the ginger ale into some fancy cups for the kiddos for their birthday party. And I think I put on the list to get fall decor from the Dollar Tree, but he's got all of the decoration items in his van. If not, we've got a bunch of these cups. There is a party coming up for the mountain bike team, so maybe we can be the volunteers to take the cup. Anywho, so that was our big bad grocery haul. And one of you mentioned in the comments that you were always shocked or disappointed or whatever with my grocery hauls because of how much money they cost. And well, this one is no exception. All of this tiny little pile of food right here, there's not even food really in it, was $169.71. I'm feeling like there's a few things. Nope, that's everything. I'm like, what on earth is missing from my grocery list? Why is it $169? $169, you guys. I'm grossed out. I'm just as grossed out as some of you are with the grocery prices. Disgusting that this stuff would be that much. $169. What on earth? No meat. Just eggs, milk, and cheeses. All right. The grocery epidemic, the grocery price epidemic that's going on right now, it's gotten disgusting. And I know I sent my husband to the store and maybe he got some things. He got all the same things I would have gotten. I just don't understand why. Why are we paying? How much is the blocks of cream cheese? Let's see. The mozzarella was $4.29. This is going to be a $100 cheesecake, you guys. The simple truth. Those are the eggs, I hope. Cream cheese. Whew. Cream cheese was $2.69. The eggs were $6.49 for an 18-pack of eggs. Anyways, it's just crazy, crazy, crazy. Thanks for watching my grocery haul. This is the delicious lentil stew. It tastes so good, and we're just going to serve it up now to the kids. Good stuff. Now you can use green lentils, or whatever lentils, normal lentils. I use red lentils because that's what I have. So hopefully it's just as delicious. Serve with a side of delicious sourdough bread.
Don't crush it. Then you crush it and then you show how it bounces back. Boing, boing.
All right, so this lentil soup, we added a little bit more pepper and salt to our individual servings because it needed it. Very good. I'll leave a link down below. When buying in bulk, I find it's easier to transfer the products into glass jars for long-term food storage. Also, depending on the amount and when I'm going to be using it up, I may or may not stick items like this corn masa into my freezer for a couple of days just to make sure that any bugs or eggs or anything that got into the flour in the manufacturing process is killed off. Now, if you don't know, there are little things in all of the flours and all of the grains that can hatch and ruin your supply of food. So when I get something that's going to be stored for more than 3 to 6 months, I will pop it in the freezer and be sure to kill off any bugs or anything like that before I store it in my jars to put on the shelf. And I may or may not vacuum seal my jars depending on when I'm going to be using them. So I also get all of my cleaning supplies in bulk from Azure Standard. You can find all the information for shopping there linked down below in this video's description. It is not an MLM. It is not anything weird like that. It's just a place that you can buy organic, GMO, non-GMO, free from products for your family, and you can save money buying in bulk. The next thing we are going to make on this day to go along with our lentil stew that we're going to be eating for the next few days is a big old skillet of my favorite corn masa bread with blackberries. And if you live in an area where you have blackberries aplenty, maybe you want to make this. It is delicious. We had it at a restaurant and I've been making it ever since. It's really good with a dollop of salted butter on top. And the recipe is pretty simple. To make this bread, you're going to put your skillet in the oven and put 6 tablespoons of butter in there. And let's get that melting while the skillet preheats. And to the wet mixture, we are going to add 2 eggs, 1.5 cups of milk, a 1/4 cup of sugar, and 1 teaspoon, and you can go a little heavy-handed, of vanilla extract. In a separate bowl, we are going to mix up the dry ingredients. We have 1 cup masa harina. I did about 3/4 cup all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons salt, 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda. We're going to give all of this a good mix in our bowl, and then we're going to combine it with our wet ingredients. But before I do that, I want to coat my freshly washed berries in the cornstarch and sugar concoction I was telling you about earlier. And I just eyeball it. I do about a 1/4 cup of sugar and about a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch in a bowl. I mix it together, and then I throw the berries in and coat those really well. And then I'll mix up my dry and wet ingredients, pour that into the skillet, at which point we throw it in our preheated 350-degree oven to bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. Just check it at the 20-minute mark and see if it needs a little bit more. You want to make sure it's golden brown, and when a toothpick isn't inserted in the middle, there are maybe crumbs, but no batter. You want to let it cool for about 5 minutes and serve warm with salted butter. We like to serve it with heavy whipping cream. It is so decadent for cornbread, if you catch my drift. It is delicious. You can also serve it with a scoop of ice cream if you like, but we like to have our cornbread with milk on top or heavy whipping cream, as I said before, and we always have some left over, so we eat it for breakfast and we'll reheat it and pour some heavy whipping cream over the top and have it like some kind of cereal. I don't know what kind of cereal that would be, but when I was a child, we always ate our leftover cornbread, our day-old cornbread, with milk and sugar. It was something that our mom served us, and I think it's so yummy, and the kids enjoy it too. Not all the kids enjoy it, but most of the kids do like to have a slice of cornbread with some heavy cream on top for breakfast. In fact, this morning, I made 2 of the kids this exact breakfast with the leftover cornbread that I made in this video. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this beautiful day, and stay tuned because we are going to be making a delicious pumpkin cheesecake. We're also diving right back into sourdough bread. It's been, it feels like a year since we've baked sourdough bread together, but we are breaking out that old nasty starter and bringing it back to life. And we're going to make some pizza rolls and some sourdough bread. It's going to be awesome. So click the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.